And we're back.
We're back, and the camera's working.
Yes,
All
and
right.
we're back.
So
Cameras working, and yeah. So where were we? Ironically, we were at Read My Lips.
yes,
Um, so yeah, as we were saying, fantastic picture, really nice sort of atmosphere that you've created in that. And where is that taken? Is that your own diorama, or is that ready sets or?
that is a ready sets, and that's part of the Street Urban 2.0. And it's probably one of my favorite part of that one, even though there's also that sewer portion. I really like because there's not too many setups where you have stairs, and the fact that I didn't have to make them is even
Yes,
better.
yes. No, that is a good point, and the lighting that comes across there, sort of, yeah, you can imagine like a roof being here and the ceiling. Yeah, very nice. Enjoyed that a
Yes, and
lot.
I definitely wanted to keep the ventriloquist in the background and make him like in the dark still because he's not the star, even though he's technically the one running the
Mm,
show.
yeah, very true. That is very true.
And
Yeah,
we need to see him in a live action movie, not
and
Gotham.
seeing him in a live action movie would be very cool. Or in Titans, I'd love to see more of him in that because his suit looked
Mm,
fantastic for that. Yeah, and
true.
I've got to mention this picture as well. So I've had a go at trying to do something like this before, and it didn't really work out. But I enjoyed the picture that you did for
What do you mean? Explain yourself.
that. Well, so I did make my own sort of clown thug.
Okay.
If I try and carefully pick him up, but because I don't want to knock him over. There we go. I made my own sort of clown thug as
Oh, that
as like
looks
the
sick, Scott.
as like
Especially
the
the hair. Did you sculpt that?
no, that is just the Arkham City Joker thug, or Joker's thug's head, with the Diamond Select Mulder body from the X Files series. Um, and yeah, I just literally just put that head on that body, and I thought it looked okay. But the shot I did for it was garbage, and I tried and shoot it again at some point. Didn't look
That
right.
looks sick, Scott. That looks way.
Yeah, I really enjoy the mask that you put on that Joker. It
I
looks
mean, it's
fantastic, man.
extremely easy for anyone who wants to do it. Just print it out, try to size it up, and then put some green fluff on it to try to give it the real reality look.
And that Necker Street Dio as well. At some point, it's inevitable I'm going to get it. It looks
You,
brilliant.
Scott, you'll love it. And the best part about it is everyone I've seen that has gotten the NECA Street thing, even though there's certain shots that, of course, everyone has that look similar, everyone that has it has somehow managed to find a way to put their own stamp on it. So, or find a different
Yes.
store. So it'll be fun to see what they come up with.
Oh, cheers, man. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have a go with that at some point. But yeah, I feel like that's been a really fun week.
It has been, especially like with all things, when you don't have too many new toys or new figures coming out, you're kind of pushed to come up with new ideas, and sometimes
Yeah,
that
definitely.
makes you grow in your creativity and grow in your ideas or different. I think that I still am just loving that Batman shot you did where it looks like he's falling. That's one of my favorite ones.
Thank
It
you.
was just
Yeah, that was one of the first ever pictures I did when I was on Instagram. I did a picture of that, and I'm just trying to recreate it and try and do something different with it. That new cape as well, though, just offers the perfect chance to do things like that, doesn't it?
oh
The
yeah,
new
it looks like
cape,
he's
it looks,
whipping around up there. It's like
yeah, the new
the
cape just gives all that chance to do it, which is really good fun. And yeah, I'm looking forward to when we get the proper official release of that new Batman.
yes. And then speaking of new figures, we saw from Ahsoka, we got to see some previews of the new single releases of the GCPD pack. We saw Croc and Bane so far. And
Mm.
what do you think of those? Like, you see a little bit of extra
Um,
hands.
Absolute garbage, to be honest. Absolute garbage. DC
Uh,
Collectibles. Oh, we've painted on new figures. And, yeah, they've got repaints, and they've been remastered, refined. They're the exact same figure. There's nothing different. If the paint's
separate.
different, you need a microscope to see it.
Yeah. And, I mean, they added a few extra hands, but big deal. I mean, there's nothing to hold in those hands.
Yeah,
That,
and the hands for Bane are just um, so poor. The Superman from the Justice League animated series figure, they are the exact same hands as that Bane.
Now, I didn't see in any of his pictures. I looked at him, but I did not see any accessories. Did it come with an accessory, the Bane?
It came with the weight,
Okay.
yeah, the dumbbell, yeah.
Well, that's good because Croc didn't come with nothing.
Which is pathetic. They could have at least put a rock in there or something.
That would have been
cool.
so easy too.
Yeah, just something, or even like a shotgun that he uses in the I forgot the name of the episode. Sideshow. Yeah. No, yeah, they could have done something like that, or just put some money in there or something like you got with the other one. Just
even put a toothpick or something that he planted for Frame Bullock.
That would have been cool. Yeah, that would have been very cool. Yeah, I don't get it. Just DC.
Oh, how about a newspaper where he's in his wrestling thing? It's like Killer Croc the wrestler.
Ah, that would have been cool. Yeah,
a piece of paper.
I know, literally, DC Collectibles lazy. They can't even print a Superman mug these days, which they put in their own advertisement. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen them do. It's shocking.
Yeah. So when I tag them in it, I feel like they just laugh at it. We got away with it.
That's just so lazy, incredibly lazy. Disappointed. What did you think of them?
I did think that the Croc, maybe the paint shade looks a little lighter, but that's about it. I'm just so disappointed in the fact that there's no accessories. I mean, if you got the diehards that bought the first set and they got the GCPT pack, I mean, if they're too in toy photography, the guy's probably getting worn out. They probably want a new one. Yeah. And if there's people that don't do photography and just display it, if you want to appeal to them, at least throw in some new accessories or stuff. I mean, sure, you'll get people that missed out on it initially, but those aren't going to be the super diehards. It's not going to be like you're selling too much, but at least give us a reason to be excited and want to buy another version besides the fact that, it's a little worn out.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. And, they said they repair. I mean, maybe there is a slight difference. I don't know. Ahsoka hasn't got the originals to compare them, but maybe there is a slight difference. But if there is, it's just so minuscule. There's no point. I think Ivy's going to be the make or break in that line because the Ivy was so horribly wrong in every single way from that wave. So hopefully that improves. And please improve the piping around Mr. Freeze's arms as well. And please actually make them bend.
Yeah, mine's cracked already too.
Oh, it's just so bad, and the head as well. Don't make the dome on his head so tall. DC Collectibles, watch the episodes that he's in. It's not like that at all. The New Adventures Freeze is more like that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's your job to watch Batman, be happy and watch the episode and get it right.
Yeah, how can you nail the New Adventures Mr. Freeze so much in your first wave and then screw it up so badly in the one of the final ones? It just makes no sense at all.
They'll find a way. They seem to excel at that.
Yeah, one step forward, 2 steps back with DC Collectibles.
My phone.
But yeah, as usual, DC Collectibles with their dodgy releases, and which funnily enough, Kevin of at Renke Customs still hasn't heard anything from GameStop about the fact that Batgirl figure disappeared somehow with the Ninja Turtles. Very strange. Don't get what's going on with that.
If you need me, Scott, I'm here for you.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on with.
I saw it yesterday.
That. Yeah, really, really strange, but good fun. All the while with DC Collectibles, they never fail to entertain us. Always give us something to talk about.
There is one new figure coming out soon I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
And I believe his name's Crackshot, and it is the new Fortnite figure. Comes with 3 head sculpts, and I think this might be my first one I get. Sorry for the close-up of my face. I'll just do this so you can see.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that looks cool.
He's a nutcracker, and I think you know what I would do with that.
Yes.
Christmas with the Joker?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's an awesome figure. Yeah, and I think that's probably going to be, it's in the Legendary series. It has 40 points of articulation. I think it's going to be the closest thing until actually January that we have until to compare probably what their multiverse will be like.
Mm.
I think that's
40
the one
points of
I get.
articulation. I remember when we had D Amazing on, he said that he feels like Todd McFarlane doesn't care about articulation. I'm not quite sure if he lives in the same multiverse I do. But yeah, McFarlane, I think they're killing it right now. They've got fantastic articulation on the toys. I think they're going to do really good with their DC figures. Yeah, looking forward to seeing that.
I have to give them credit because some of their figures, even though they're Fortnite game figures, they're inventive and cool looking, especially like that astronaut fish tank. I mean, I may not buy money, but I mean, at least it's a cool looking figure. It's innovative. It's something new.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I could see myself getting a lot of these for just background baddies or.
Yeah. I mean, the wild card figures are fantastic, and the other figure that we talked about with, I believe it was Toy Snap. That was a cool looking figure as well. The one that looked like Anthony Romulus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was cool looking figure as well. But yeah, there's some cool stuff hopefully coming out from them very soon. Couple months time. Looking forward to that. Well, less than that now. Talking about 7-8 weeks.
That's unbelievable.
Really looking forward to seeing what they come up with. And yeah, we've got the DC Collectibles figures coming out very soon. The Ra's al Ghul will be coming out soon from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That'll be quite cool.
Hopefully that doesn't disappear on you.
Yeah, I bloody hope not. Very strange. GameStop, sort it out. If they're listening, and you probably aren't, please sort it out. But yeah, hopefully it'll be good fun.
Yes, and then are there any other? There's no DC figures to talk about. Speak of. There's no really Mezco to talk of. No Mezco, no Figuarts, no Mafex. No. I mean, I think the last Mafex was Aquaman.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, last one was Aquaman, and I'd still not picked him up yet. I don't know if I'm going to now, but he looks good.
Shazam's supposed to be January, or at least
definitely
early.
Getting him. 100% getting Shazam. Yeah, he looks so cool. I've got the Dr. Savannah. I haven't taken a picture of him yet. I need to get to that.
Another one up the sleeve. Another ace.
Yeah. One of those. Shazam looks good. Are you going to be getting Shazam?
I might have to. It's a really good looking Shazam, and I love the effects that come with them. And I have the Mattel version, and that one's great too. So I don't know. It just depends on how bad because sometimes how you really want a figure until you actually have the money to get it, then you're just like, don't really want it.
Yeah, kind of with you on that. I know what you mean. You save up for it, and you think, you know what, I'm actually really going to get the use out of this. I think sometimes we're probably guilty of either overthinking or seriously underthinking, and there's never really a balance between the two. Sometimes you feel like you're constantly trying to justify your purchase, or you just dive in for it. Either way, it's one of those really strange things, isn't it? That you can't find a balance for sometimes. But if the money's there and the figure's half decent, 9 times out of 10 we'll just fold.
Yeah, I mean, now that I have some extra cash to spend on a figure, I'm still being very picky. Yeah, I don't know which one I'm going to get. I know I kind of want to get the Black Mass figure, but that's kind of pricey. I want to get Dr. Fate. That's in the same ballpark. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that Black Mask, the Mezco one, right? Is that what you...
I was actually looking at that too, but I'm talking about the old DC Universe signature.
Cool. That's a great figure, to be fair. Yeah. The Mezco one looks all right, doesn't it? But as soon as Lewis said to me, well, all it is just a repaint of the original Joker, and I was like, you know what? That's actually so true. Like, everything is identical to it, apart from the fact he's got a button sewed on it. His jacket, which
$200 figure.
Yeah, as soon as he said that, I was like, you know what? It's actually crap. All he's got is a light-up suitcase, and so Lewis saw straight through it, and yeah, he's right.
And they probably were loving it. Oh yeah, people are buying.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's inspired a whole load of imaginary shots of Black Mask opening that suitcase. Just how did they think? How did they think of that? How did they think of it?
Yes.
Yeah. Please do something different with him. It's boring, man.
I love it because that's so true. I was thinking that last night. Like, how many times are we going to see this stupid suitcase open?
Yeah, just the same people, and it's the same people doing it. The same people repeating the same shot over and over again. Yeah, very strange. Very strange.
Okay. And then speaking of strange, Instagram continues to be super strange.
It's been very weird, isn't it, lately? I don't know what's going on.
Imagine the people that say are like Instagram models or people that do their business completely online or that are social media influencers or just like a Simon from the Batman animated fan who sells stuff online, or maybe he wanted to put a link to his page. It's about 50-50 in the people I've asked whether or not links are working. I know your links are working. Mine still aren't working. So it's just like, it's frustrating there. And so, and not only that, but you've noticed a trend as well in terms of hashtags, right?
Hashtags are very strange at the minute. So I was looking into this. I was doing a bit of I don't want to call it research. That sounds incredibly tedious and boring. But there is
Detective work.
there is statistical facts that the algorithm is seriously harming people's exposure and pictures at the moment now. I need to word this carefully. So it's sort of frustrating that people don't see your stuff, and you can kind of judge that by seeing how many people's photos are getting less likes than usual, or sort of less comments, things like that. And you know, I've spoken to people that haven't seen any, just from my own experience, haven't seen any of my pictures for a while and stuff. And vice versa, I haven't seen any of their stuff. And, you know, I was speaking with Batman_figures 412, and he was basically just saying, you know, you can't see some of the stuff that you're posting, and it's the same for a lot of people at the moment. So I was looking at a picture that I did recently. Let me find the picture because I want to make sure I get this 100% correct and accurate. But I was looking at sort of hashtags for this. So the hashtags I use for this one with the Batman.
It's a beauty.
Mutant, yeah, the Batman and Mutant Ninja Turtles. That picture got nearly 8,000 views. Identical hashtags to, let me find the picture, to this picture, similar sort of setup, identical hashtags that I used on that. That got 1,500 views on it compared to 8,000 in the space of a couple of weeks. Very strange. And obviously following's gone up slightly since then. I'm not going to say it's a massive amount. It isn't. Very strange. Yeah, Instagram's playing around with a lot of algorithms lately, and I'm noticing a lot more ads on Instagram. It has to stop. It's so annoying. Stop advertising things on there. It's getting so boring to see it. Yeah, incredibly frustrating, but yeah.
I know Instagram this week, especially in the US, and I heard parts of Europe, but they haven't been specific yet. And they already said they tested it out in parts of Australia and that sort of thing. But they're actually getting rid of likes, or at least testing it out and trying it out, which I don't know what that's going to be like. I mean, I guess the person whose page, the own person's page is going to be able to see the likes, but everyone else can't. And it's so funny. Their reasoning is saying that so that people don't feel competitive, or that they feel like their worth is in likes and that sort of thing. And first of all, if you feel like your worth is in likes, then you have a whole different issue going on. You have a different kind of thing that you should be addressing. But I think in terms of likes for businesses and that sort of thing, especially for people that work with companies and to do ads and that sort of thing that rely upon it for income, or just to get traffic to direct them to something else, or just to get exposure. I think that the likes are important because not only because, I mean, if a grandpa looks at any commercial nowadays, like an Old Spice commercial, he's going to be like, what the heck's going on? Because those things are aimed towards a younger audience, and he might not get that sense of humor or something. So if you have an ad company that's looking for to get a young person to help them with ads, and they're trying to decipher, what are people liking? What are they? And they have no idea because they don't know, what kids are into or that sort of thing. I think the likes will help them and that sort of thing, because say, okay, people are responding to this a lot. They tend to like this. I don't think it's cool. I mean, you can look at the following and just be like, oh, well, I have a lot of followers, but you have to also realize a lot of people buy followers, and you can always tell that usually because of the likes. You would see how many followers, and you'd be like, okay, let's see how many of these are actually liking his picture. And if it was a decent amount, then you're like, okay, this guy's legit. So if you just, anyone now could probably like throw $5 to get, 50,000 computer followers, and then people are like, oh, they have a lot of followers. They must, but they can't see the likes now. Maybe the person's getting 25 likes, maybe 50. So it's going to be hard for, I think, businesses and advertisers to decipher what people are responding to and that sort of thing. And I think that in general, if we want less ads, like you're talking about, I hate seeing the corporate ads pop up. And then I do like seeing people get creative with their ads if they're working with a company, especially if I like their style. Like I see JC Malone does some cool pictures with like pins and stuff. So I like seeing that stuff. I don't like seeing corporate ads.
Yeah.
So I hate all this stuff. And then, like you said, the hashtags. Yeah, I've started to notice there's different, but mine goes up and down. Like I'll have a post that will get like struggle to get 300, then I'll have one that gets 1,000, then I'll get one that's like around 400, then another one that's like 1,000. It just goes up and down. I don't know what's what.
Weird, isn't it? It's really strange. Yeah, you get identical tags and such variance. I mean, how can your following be like around 10,000 and nearly less than 10% of your people are seeing it? I mean, how can that possibly be right? And I see people in other totally different regions of the world or different areas or continents, and they're getting like. I saw someone, I know it was funny. You talk about buying likes. I saw someone that had about 10k followers, and they got like nearly 11,000 likes on a picture of a figure standing on the floor by a border. Like about 3 different figures standing there. They're just like very suspicious of people like that. It's very strange, and so for that reason, I think getting rid of seeing how many likes you've got on a photo would be quite useful for that, and it would stop people buying likes. So it's kind of really awkward and hard to sort of. It's hard to say what's right and what's wrong with that, but yeah, I certainly get where you're coming from with the corporate angle, but very strange. I mean, how can that possibly be right? It's, something.
Well, I'm just trying to think of in terms of, because Instagram's a business and they're trying to make this decision in terms of business. They could care less about people that just like to do photos because of photos. And so I'm trying to think, like, even if you were doing this for a business, you're not helping the businesses because they're not even able to see what people are responding to. Yeah. You're just, so it's just, I don't get it. And then the hashtag thing, and then in terms of when you do a post, it's extremely important in the first 5 to 10 minutes the amount of likes you get, because if you get a lot of likes at the beginning and people respond to it, that means it gets pushed in the Explorer page more and it pops up in other people's feeds more because they're seeing that it's getting popular. And in terms of like what you're saying, where people aren't seeing your post, there's times where I'll just be seeing your post after I refresh it, and it'll say that you posted 20 minutes ago. And then so in terms of like something like that, it's like, yeah, I might be seeing your post, but it's 20 minutes late, and that doesn't help your momentum. So that's not helping people either. If they're seeing people's posts, like, so now I make sure, especially for like the people that, I'm extremely friends with and want to make sure that they're doing well, I have to search them out and make sure I'm not missing any of their posts. So
That's a really good point. Yeah, it's a good point. There was something I was reading up that, a few weeks ago now about the algorithm and what's changed with it recently. Just out of curiosity, and I've noticed that this is quite interesting, and this applies to quite a few people. If you're going around commenting on other people's posts all the time, that is going to increase your account visibility in the algorithm. Now,
So if you're a sucker, you're gonna get.
This annoyed me quite a lot. There's three clear names that spring to mind when I think of this.
Popping in my.
That comment generic, boring comments on people's pages, and my page, your page, everybody's. I've seen it
exactly.
And people that pretend they're interested, they try and mix the comment up here and there. The people know exactly who they are, and I'm sorry, but you're nothing but suck-ups that just want to, lead other people's account for your own likes and following. It's very disappointing. I was seriously annoyed at this. I showed Lewis.
It's the worst.
And I was really annoyed. I showed you as well, and it's just ridiculous, man. Like, it's so poor and disappointing. If I'm commenting on someone's picture because I think it's a good shot, and I'd certainly like to believe I'm being genuine about it. Not, it's just very disappointing. And the fact that Instagram rewards that is even more disappointing.
Yeah, that's funny because there's times where I purposely try not to comment a lot because I feel like because people because there's so many people that do that, what you're saying, where they just suck up. I don't want the person to think that I'm doing that. So it has to be absolutely like I'm just taken aback and mind blowing to comment because I want the person to know I'm being genuine. I don't want it to be like great photo, happy face, great photo, cool photo, wow. It's like, no, I want to be like, so
like great shot with 3 thumbs up or something, or that guy that goes around commenting I am Groot on everything. He's doing it because he wants to be seen in the algorithm. That's what he's doing. It's not because he's trying to be funny. It's not because he's trying to, he's just doing it for the algorithm. That's all it is. Yeah.
JC Malone commented that and just made me laugh because he's mocking the guy.
Funnily enough, that's how I saw it. Well,
so
true, man.
Do you have any other news or know anything else about the algorithm?
Well, no. I mean, that's pretty much for the algorithm. But news-wise, we've had a confirmed Alfred casting in the Batman movie.
Ah, yes.
Which is about time. It's all the least likely suspect. We've officially got our Alfred. Everyone knows who he is by now, and I've seen some information on the Batsuit as well. It's been leaked that apparently we're going to see a grey and blue Batsuit, which is quite interesting. I'm fascinated to see how that works on the big screen with no black Batsuit. It's going to be weird.
It's got to be dark blue. It's not going to be light powder 70s blue.
I hope they don't go with the classic emblem. I want them to see the Black Hush emblem or something, or the Long Halloween. I want to see that emblem. That looks sick.
But I wouldn't mind if they showed a Batcave with a few different outfits, and we did see a yellow oval. He doesn't have to wear, but I would like
that would be very cool. Yeah, yeah. If you got like a year 1 suit or something in there, what would that be?
With the wide.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. We're close now to hopefully seeing a Penguin casting, which would be quite cool. Yeah,
and that's very different so far. The rumors, at least, it's not who you would think. Stereotypical body type, at least.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? They've gone from big fat Jonah Hill to various different ones. But yeah, looking forward to that movie, 2021. I can't wait for that. It's gonna be fantastic.
And because of this rumors of the suit, I'm even tempted of trying to get that blue Mezco now with the oval.
Oh, he looks great. Lewis keeps taking some awesome shots. At least we've got the Mutant Ninja Turtle Batman to keep us occupied with that for now. Yeah,
exactly. But there's also, in terms of Instagram, outside of that news, you get the hashtag. I've seen a lot of people complain just in general because they don't get likes, and that really set me off. It wasn't because of hashtags or anything like that. Nothing related to anything that you touched on. I just saw someone just commenting, well, multiple people recently, just saying like, "Oh, I just don't get the likes," and blah blah blah. And if you look at their pictures, I mean, it would be justified if it was outstanding photos. But these people, they do the same thing over and over, and
Yeah.
so it's just like, dude, if you want to get the likes, mix it up, man. Don't complain.
That's it. I think you have to be very careful when you're complaining about things like that on Instagram, because you'll fire a direct shot to your followers.
And we've talked about it before.
There was a speech that I've mentioned it before, who at Batman_figures412, he summed it up perfectly in an Instagram post. He was saying he's not complaining directly about the amount of likes, but you can tell his pictures aren't getting seen as much because the likes have dropped off significantly. Yeah. If that kind of makes sense. And
he actually has good photos.
Yeah, he does have good photos. He does. He's got a brilliant custom Joker figure on that he's made as well. But the drop off in that much I can kind of get. So I just dropped him a message and said, look, I've got the sort of statistic thing, because you don't get it till you get past 10k, do you? Which I think is a joke, by the way. I think that's a joke. You should see it. Why should Instagram hide that info from you until you get to 10k? I think that's ridiculous. And I said, look, man, I can see it for myself. I'm totally with you on that. Totally agree. And I think if you're going to complain about Instagram, he did it in the correct way. So I think that's good to see. But like you say, I see people complain about lack of likes and stuff all the time.
And they're either copying another well-known Instagram artist, and it's like people just know they're trying to rip them off, or they just do the same thing all the time and expect people to be blown away.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And that's the thing too. If that's the case, then you should relish the fact that you get to try something different and work hard to become better at your craft. Don't just whine. Yeah. That's what kills.
Yeah.
Instagram's already not helping you, and then whining and complaining about your people, your followers, that's not going to help you either.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to help.
Then what else is not going to help is if you rely on robots, because robots are never good.
Yeah, robots aren't good, but luckily these robots don't have any algorithms, so yeah.
At least the ones we're talking about that pretty soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Now this is a two-parter that we're coming up on. We're transitioning into the animated series review, and we did part 1 of Heart of Steel last week, and now we are on part 2. And what do you think, Scott?
I think happy it's over? Even though it's a two-parter, it feels like two completely different stories in this. I'm not going to lie.
Oh yeah, it kind of does.
The sheer amount of characters that change towards the second part. But Heart of Steel was never one I particularly enjoyed as a kid. I know you mentioned it in the previous episode, but Silicon Soul is where that story really comes to life. Yeah, it feels like we have to go for a long drag to get to a really good episode.
Yeah, it's like a studio making you watch 24 movies to see one really big movie. Who would do
that? Yeah, a little bit like Marvel's last 10 years. That, but
I love it. So we're
I would just quickly on that. I would like to also point out the Joker is the most profitable comic book movie of all time as well. I'd just like to mention that. But yeah, so
officially over $1 billion.
It virtually is. Yeah, it's going to get over $1 billion. Let's face it, and it'll be having another £8 off me by the time the week's out. I'm going to go on either Friday or Saturday to see it again, definitely. But
I think I'll join.
Yeah, it's so good, man, isn't it? Got to go and see that again. But so Heart of Steel Part 2. Part 1 was a lot of fun, a lot of interesting plot twists in that. But the essence of it is Batman has had the Batcave hacked over by Randa Dwayne, who is a robot working for Hardak, a company owned by Carl Rossum. And basically their plan is to duplicate people and turn them into robots and then bend them to the will of the Hardak machine.
Yes.
So this is basically Terminator is what's happening right here in Gotham City.
with a little bit of Space Odyssey 2001 with the Hardak machine. He's got the. It's almost like a Elon Musk character in Carl Ross, with his brilliance, and then except for he didn't heed Musk advice. Elon Musk has famously said AI could take over the world, and Carl Ross made a mistake. He actually made it AI, and the AI became sentient. And where we pick up is like what Scott said. We saw at the end of the first part, Alfred got knocked out, incapacitated, and ran to Dwayne. She went in the Batcave, hacked the computer because she is literally a computer. And Batman returns home, and his robot arms that usually take his glider up and make sure that thing's hung up properly, unlike any of my figures. Batman is pulled up by the robot arms, and he's struggling where we end. And right when we pick up, we see that he's still struggling. And of course, since the robot arms, he's little to no match. And fortunately, he's able to just cut the arms wires. He falls, and he's able to get the link, and he's able to see that Hardak is involved, and then he cuts it off. What an entrance!
Brilliant entrance, isn't it? Yeah, to the episode. I love Alfred's line as well. In saying, "I wish your toys wouldn't play so rough with you," massively, and yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Alfred's never at a loss, even though he's waking up and he actually let the whole thing happen.
Yeah, he manages to be serious and yet sarcastic at the same time, Alfred. It's quite a balance he's struck with that.
Yeah. And then something that's kind of hard to take serious, especially if you saw it in person, is after we see that, we see the robot version of Commissioner Gordon. It appears like he's talking to himself in his office, but he's not. He's just internally talking through like the Wi-Fi in their brain or whatever, even though Wi-Fi wasn't invented back then. This show was ahead of its time. He's talking about clearly killing Bruce Wayne, and as he's talking about that in GCPD, Barbara walks in and she tries to talk to him, and he immediately just leave him alone. And she just like so taken aback, she storms out, doesn't even try to reason with him because she knows something's up. And then Harvey Bullock is walking in because I guess Commissioner Gordon called for him, and that's where we get taken to next. And that's I guess he tells her to go see Randa at Cybertron, and in the meantime we see Barbara's listening in, trying to put this together. She's eavesdropping, trying to see if there's a common thread throughout all these conversations.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And as Rossum goes into Hardak, he's noticed that the duplicator has been used, and he tries to shut it down. And it's at that point Hardak attacks him. Imagine being attacked by your very own robot.
And it looks like it burns him up alive at first.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. You expect him to just completely disappear or dissolve or something, but then he just reappears, and that clone of Carl Rossum is inevitably going to be made from that.
Poor guy. Yeah, he even says that he gives Hardak too much free will.
Yes, yeah. He said let it go too far, and it's quite a cool scene, that, actually.
And he is not about to be reprogrammed after discovering that free will.
No, he's not impressed.
And then from there, we get taken to City Hall, where we see Mayor Hill, who we see him quite often. He's been since on Leather Wings, and he's at his office going about doing his work, and unbeknownst to him, he gets taken out by a duplicate of himself.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting taken out.
Yeah, Mayor Hill gets taken out this time. It's his turn for the chop, and as this is going on, Barbara is using the bat signal to attract Batman, and she's convinced that Gordon isn't her father. And Batman looks at him like what? He's like I don't. He said looks like him and talks like him, but it's just not his father. He's just so cold, which I like that term.
Literally,
Mr. Freeze would appreciate that pun. And it's at that point Bullock returns and decides to suddenly attack Batman. They're fighting on the rooftop. Eventually, they manage to pull him off it, and he falls into the bat signal and gets electrocuted. And they're both horrified because they think, oh, if we killed Bullock, what's going on? And then a robot just appears out of the shell. Really weird scene that. But yeah, the Batman manages to just wing its head off with a batarang, which is quite funny as well.
I love Bullock's line too. Robot Bullock, I didn't get an invitation. Can I join or something like that? Very Bullock.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But it is also cool to see the first meeting of Barbara up there on the Bat Signal.
Yeah.
Even though she's not officially a Cape Crusader yet. And it's also cool to see a different Gordon.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Different parallel.
Yeah, definitely is.
And then where do we go from there, Scott?
Okay, so yeah, Bruce then goes to meet with Mayor Hill. And,
that's a new club, is it?
Yeah, it's an exclusive club. Bruce thinks he's a member of all the exclusive clubs, which is a nice little line, nice little Bruce Wayne line in there. And as he goes in,
imagine if they had a Court of Owls. Imagine that.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Yeah, that sounds like a good storyline. They should make that one day.
I would love it.
But yeah, Mayor Hill meets Bruce in this club, and all of a sudden, Randa Dwayne and Commissioner Gordon appeared. The red eyes light up, which is quite a creepy and really cool scene. Actually, quite like that one.
Very blatant.
Yes, and Gotham's Terminators try and take out Bruce, but he manages to escape. Manages to escape and get into the lift. Changes into Batman out of nowhere. And
he learned that one from Superman.
He did, yeah, he did. Or Flash with a ring, and and Batman manages to cut the cord of the lift, and it collapses on them and completely destroys the robots. It's quite a cool scene.
That is one of my favorite scenes. I love the side view of him hanging there, cutting in. You see the robot trying to climb up.
The robots are so weird, aren't they? How they climb on the top of the thing and look around with the head, and it's really weird.
Freaky, very Exorcist-like that they crawl. Ugh.
Yeah.
And so we see the robots fall, and they appear to be destroyed. I know it's never fully confirmed because you don't know with robots, but it appears that they're destroyed. And then Barbara, who's been doing her own detective work, she's finally found out where her father should be. And she is in her room. She's gathering up her own little utility belt, as it were, but in a backpack. She's got a torch, which we could have used if we had that with Mad Hatter. And she has a couple other things that would seem very useful for the breaking and entering. And she has she's talking to her stuffed bear. So
yeah, Whoopi.
Whoopi. Yeah. What a great name. And then so after that, we see her go actually to Cybertron, and she uses a fingerprint trick to enter a code. She sneaks past cameras, but she did not count on the fact that there would be waste baskets that were actually robots that were spying on her.
Yeah.
And before long, she is apprehended, and she is in the ranks with the other normal humans, and she sees that they're in almost like a comatose state where they're floating in water in suspended animation. And the reason that they aren't dead yet is because Hardak says, since he's a robot, he's going to use them to learn about human behavior so that he could perfect the way that these robots imitate humans so that he could eventually take over the world, I assume.
Yeah. It's quite a sad backstory, really, isn't it?
It's crazy.
It's the way it's sort of made with, like I say, with Ross and his daughter dying. It's quite sad, really.
Yes. And that's something I definitely forgot about until I watched it back. Not remember that part. But where do we go from there?
So after Barbara goes to get into Cybertron, Batman sort of arrives there as well, and he goes to try and take down Hardak, and Hardak, of course, fights back. The humans are being kept in the chamber because they're still going to be useful for information, according to Hardak, which is quite cool. How sort of cold it is about everything. How emotionless Hardak is, which is what I quite like. They executed that really well.
Yeah, not like that, but his motivation for it isn't stupid. It's not. It's not.
Yes.
It's not like, okay, I left him alive just because. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
use study. I'm a robot. I don't know anything about you guys.
Yeah. And definitely. I think that's quite good. Yeah, I think that's definitely quite good. And so they attack Batman hard act, and all the clones do, but Batman manages to fight them off, takes them out by various things. Like Randa Dwayne gets crushed in another lift.
He loves the elevator deaths.
Yeah, I love the way that he blows Commissioner Gordon up as well. That's quite funny.
Yes.
The way the robot goes over to the bomb and then gets blown to smithereens. I quite enjoy that one.
The creepiest visual is how he walks, that Gordon.
Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it? Yeah, seeing Gordon so maneuverable is just incredibly strange. But it's a very predictable ending. You know, Barbara helps everyone escape, then goes back in to save Batman, comes out, and then everybody's happy. I'd love to big up the ending, but it's quite predictable.
I mean, like we said, it's basically a 2-part episode. The first part sets up the second part, and the 2 parts are just used to set up another episode down the line.
Yeah, definitely.
It is very predictable. There are some cool little parts, just like any Batman.
Yeah.
But
Let's say you ask you that. I was going to say a 6. I think I give the first part a 6 as well. So I think 6 is about right.
I would even give this like a 6 in the first 15 minutes, and then after that, peter it off because it does get so predictable. And even all the fighting and stuff just feels like they did it to pad the time of the episode, the length of it out.
Yeah, definitely with you on that.
Yeah. I'd give it I would say a 5.5 because that would be the average. So.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's it. And then what I really want to know, besides what our next episode is, do you know?
Yes. I do know our next episode, and I'm very excited about it.
What is it?
It's If You're So Smart, Why Aren't You Rich?
Yes.
Which is going to be a fantastic. It's one of my favorite ever episodes, not just in BTS but in the animated series. So the whole DCAU. I'm really excited about it. I love this episode a lot. So yeah, it's going to be really good fun.
I respect it.
Yeah, Riddler finally entering the DCAU.
I respect the Riddler episodes the most because even the creators themselves said it was so hard to write multiple episodes of Riddler because he's just such a hard character to write. He's so smart. So.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
they did a good job.
Yeah, they nailed 3, or possibly you could argue 4 with Superman. 4 really brilliant episodes with Riddler.
And one of your all-time favorites. What is reality?
Yeah. What is reality? So good.
Now, the other big question I have, and it's the new rave. Everyone's talking about it. It's the figure of the week.
The figure of the week. Yeah.
What is Scott's figure of the week?
It was actually an easy choice. So we're on about the DCAU now. I've just finished watching Justice League Unlimited this week. Finished the whole DCAU run, and figure of the week is definitely going to be DC Collectibles.
The big boy.
Superman. Big Blue, the Boy Scout.
Not the scrawny young Soups. This is Big Boy.
I absolutely adore this figure. Even if he has got floppy, you can't really see it, but even if he has got floppy feet.
You fixed it pretty good though. Right? Gloss.
Yeah, use some Pledge floor gloss. It's fantastic. You would never ever think I'd say that, but yeah, it's fantastic, and I absolutely love it. The accuracy of that Superman's amazing. Just the chunky shoulders, just brilliant. It's just the perfect shape of a Superman figure.
And it really does make
fantastic.
It really does make the young version look just poor in comparison because it's just that one's so brilliant, like with the big old wide shoulders. You carry the world on them.
Yeah, it looks freaking amazing. Absolutely amazing figure, and yeah, Superman in the animated series is just absolutely unreal, and absolutely love Superman growing up in that series, and him and Batman's relationship is just brilliant. Absolutely love the DCAU for that, and yeah, he's my figure of the week. Loved watching Justice League Unlimited as well. Epic storylines. So how about you? What are you going to choose for your figure of the week?
this is my decision behind this is I enjoy figures that draw out creativity and allow you to come up with a lot of different things. Like, for instance, a Scarecrow. You could do a lot of cool different shots with him just on visions and stuff. And I feel like with the figure I picked today, I've done a lot of some of my favorite stuff, just creative wise. And it is the ventriloquist.
Brilliant. Yeah,
I've
it's a brilliant choice.
Done things where like I blew up the ventriloquist. I mean the Scarface and made the Arnold Wesker the puppet. I've done stuff where, the Scarface has puppet strings on Arnold, and it's just fun to do different creative stuff with that. And any figure that allows that to pop out, that's good for me.
That's fantastic. Yeah, really good choice. I've actually got a picture of those two to come this week. Ventriloquist and Scarface.
I don't think have you ever released a picture of them?
Maybe only two, but that's a really good choice. Yeah, and we talked about the picture that you did earlier of those, which is this one here. Fantastic picture. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah,
amazing
it's just
picture.
It doesn't have a lot of articulation, but it's just one of those you don't really need it.
Yeah, if you take out any sort of love for the character, even if you don't enjoy those particular characters, you can't deny that their sculpt and accuracy is just phenomenal.
Yes.
Now, how often are we ever going to get a ventriloquist and Scarface figure? I don't think we're ever going to get that again.
They never even released a DC Universe style back in the day, and I feel like they released every character in DC.
Yeah.
So that's true. I never even thought about that until right now. Dang. I might have to buy 4 more of these. I do have one more question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, far away.
In terms of photography. Now, a lot of new phones nowadays, they like, say, a Google Pixel 3. A lot of them, if you look, they have a lot of the same specs as cameras that cost thousands of dollars. However, sometimes with the cameras, you have different things that, you could obviously tell it's a better quality with better zoom and all that sort of thing. But obviously it's hundreds and sometimes $1,000 more than a phone. Where do you lie on that? Because I've been struggling. Like, sometimes I want a camera. I mean, sometimes I just want to get a phone because it's like, okay, I need to use it anyway. 2 birds, 1 stone. But I do see the merit to having an actual real camera, like a Canon or something like that, for certain shots. But where do you think of that?
It's funny you should mention it, because I am going to get a camera. I am going definitely to get one. It's one of those things, I feel like it should be the last thing you buy. The last thing you should buy should be a camera. I think if you're a toy photographer, you should work on getting the right figures, the right setup, the right accessories. The last thing you should do is get a camera. You can get a good camera and have a figure in front of you and take a picture of it. And if you've got no imagination around the picture and it's just a boring picture of a figure, then you can't really say that you're doing anything different to what other people are doing. I feel like you should build the storytelling element first and then work on your camera as the very last thing. I mean, I shot with like an iPhone 6 for about 18 months in my account. It's only within the last sort of 6 months that I started using an iPhone X. And all being well, very, very soon I'm going to be getting a proper camera to take pictures with. So a camera should be the very last thing. You should never, this is just my opinion, but I don't think you should ever spend money on equipment until it's the last thing that you need to do. I feel like figures and dioramas and storytelling should be the 3 main things that you base your account around. A diorama might just be a print screen on a screen or something. So I feel like it should be the last thing that people do. And for me, I was inspired by all the great photographers and storytellers out there that started with a phone and built their way up, like you, Lewis, Simon of Batman the Animated Fan. You were all the same. You started off with phones and you've built your way up, and I think that's the way to do it, because you hone your skills, and then when you finally got the cameras to take these amazing pictures, you've got the equipment, or not the equipment, sorry, the dioramas, the figures, the knowledge, and the way to set a picture up. You've got all that ready for you. You don't have to work on that. It's already made, and you can just take a picture of it on a good camera then.
No, that is actually a really good point, and I think when you have a bad phone, or I mean, it's not a bad phone. Phones and cameras are good, but in comparison to what others have, I mean, you feel it sometimes. And back in the day, like when I had a iPhone 5C, even you want the picture to look as best as possible, even though you know you're limited by your technology. But I think that it forced me to learn the importance of natural lighting, because with the iPhone 5C, I couldn't take a good clear photo even with any lights that I have up here. But if I did it outside, it would look like any other camera in this world. And that sort of thing, I feel like what you said, you're forced to learn more how to be a better storyteller. You're forced to learn better techniques for what you got. You're forced to claw your way to get better dioramas and learn that sort of thing. So in a way, you're forced to become better out of necessity. So I do think that what you said is all 100% true.
Yeah, it's very important, and you said before, and I think it's very true. Light, like you just mentioned there, lighting is everything. Lighting is so important. It can change the way a picture looks and how sharp it is so much. And it's not necessarily the amount; it's the way it's used.
Did you watch that? Did you watch that Joker video where the cinematographer talks about color?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh man, I'll send you the link.
Do it. Sounds good. Okay. Yeah.
You would love it.
I feel like that sort of thing's really important, and figures and storytelling and setups have always been the most important thing for me. And cameras, although they're great in the long, drawn out process of improving, I feel like that's the last thing you should probably spend your money on, And there are good cameras out there. There really are good cameras on phones that you can use. And for me, it keeps it simple as well. If you're going in with a fancy camera to start with, sometimes it's too much. It can overcomplicate things. Just learn as you go.
Yourself.
Yeah, learn as you go along, and your figures should never be cheaper than your camera. I think that's very important.
That's what we'll be sent out on. Words of wisdom.
Yeah. Figures should never be cheaper than the camera. It should always accumulate more money in figures than you do in equipment, definitely.
And then in terms of equipment and stuff that will help along with storytelling, we have a big guest coming up.
Yes, absolutely.
It is one that we both really enjoy, and we both enjoyed the product, and we've gotten multiple uses and different angles and anything you could imagine out of a lot of the same sets, but because they're so well done. And it is Joe of Extreme Sets, a one-time guest early on when we first started around this time a year ago or earlier this year. And we're going to be talking to him he has a lot of new products, a lot of new extreme sets with like buildings, and he has a bar coming and that sort of thing. But he's also branching out into things like accessories, like couches and stuff. And he has a perfect vintage yellow one that matches just right up with the Joker talk show setup. So I can't wait to get that and add that to my Murray Franklin set. But it should be a lot of fun. And I remember when we first interviewed him, we got a tremendous response from you people saying that I think that's one of the first times we had a significant amount of growth. We grew like over 400 listens because everyone was really enjoying the topic. And you could tell Joe himself has a lot of passion and an actual love for what he does. It's not just business or not just a way to earn money, but he's put some blood, sweat, and tears. And it sounds like a lot of his net worth into this. And
it is. He's a collector himself as well, so that helps even more to understand what he's selling.
And if you have noticed, I don't know if you watch a lot of YouTube, but nowadays, because I know that's what my phone is used to me seeing, so I get ads for Big Bad Toy Store, and his extreme sets are used in that. And those are like brilliantly done ads. So it must be cool to see your work shared all over. And we're looking forward to talking to him.
Yeah,
so Scott.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can't wait.
I'll see you in 2 days in a blink of an eye for a couple of
literally, it'll be a flash of a camera for everybody listening, but for us it will be 2 long days.
Yes, especially after this fun conversation. So we will see you on the other side of this.